short meditation here at We Meditate Tuesday evening session. Now, as you well know, we have, as usual, two parts to this evening. The first part being the introductory meditation, and the second part is the going deeper part, where we talk a little bit more about a new perspective, a new theory, or a new technique you can use in your day-to-day meditations. Now, for you who are here for the first time, as I'm sure there probably are, this is We Meditate, and what we do here is Sahaja Yoga meditation. Now, Sahaja Yoga meditation is a spontaneous, simple, and straightforward manner of achieving that meditative state, which we call thoughtless awareness. It's a state where we're able to pass beyond the barrier and threshold of our thoughts and witness that feeling of oneness, of completeness, of a pure and quintessential space of peace. Now, this happens by tapping into and working in cooperation with an energy within us known as the Kundalini. The Kundalini is a dormant maternal and internal energy that is found at the base of our spine. And through this meditation, what we try to do is activate this energy and allow her to rise up through our subtle system, which is composed of 7 subtle energy centers and 3 channels. Now, these 3 channels correspond to our understanding of the past, present, and future, whereas the 7 energy centers cater towards certain internal and external processes that can be found on both a physical, mental, and spiritual basis. Now, as this energy moves up through the base of our spine, it comes into contact sequentially with these energy centers, or as we call them, chakras. And as it crosses a threshold of a chakra, it tries to bring this chakra into equilibrium or into a balance, into a harmonious relationship with the rest of the system. And as she rises and corrects any imbalance within us, she resides here at the top of our head in the 7th energy center, which is beyond our brain, beyond our thoughts. Now, that's to put it in a quick nutshell, and if you have any more questions or want to know more, there is a treasure trove of information you can find on wemeditate.co, and you're more than welcome to peruse through our catalogue of information and see what you can find, dabble a bit with information here and there, and try and work it out in your day-to-day meditations. Now, for today's topic, we are looking into stability through meditation. Now, stability and gravity are two certain qualities that can be enriched, empowered, and enabled through Sahaja Yoga meditation. Now, there are a few subtle energy centers which cater towards these certain feelings, cater towards these certain qualities. And it is by a dialogue and a rapport we create with our Kundalini in tandem with these certain energy centers, we can bring forth and manifest these qualities within us that will give tangible benefits in our day-to-day life. Tangible benefits in how we interact with ourselves and how we interact with each other. Now, what we have in this Sahaja Yoga meditation, we incorporate also with the idea of elements. There are 5 elements, those being the earth, fire, water, air, and ether. Now, earth is something we'll be discussing today, and there is a interdependence and interconnectedness between these elements and specific energy centers and how they operate amongst and within each other. Now, we'll probably go more further into that in subsequent videos, but today we'll start with just the tip of the iceberg and talk about how we can really use and employ the qualities of the earth, the qualities of the earth element that gives us that stability, that gives us that rootedness, and that can really bring us down, as the saying goes, down to the level of the earth, to bring us into a humble state where we are receptive and where we are ready to tackle any obstacle, hurdle, or obstruction with that centeredness, with that point of gravity that we can establish within us, so that anything that we might come into contact with, anything that might challenge us, we can face it from a place where we're comfortable with ourselves and where we know that we are based in a stable foundation. Now, there are many analogies we can use for how we can achieve this foundation stability. One would be, of course, the roots of a tree and that taproot, that main root of the tree that drives into the ground and organically weaves through the network of soil, weaves past any large rock, goes through these obstacles, carries them, and is always looking for that nourishing source, is always looking for the nutrients and looking for that water with which to bring forward the growth of the whole tree as a complete, sustained organism. Another analogy we can use for this is, of course, the foundation of a building. And if you want to base your meditation if you want to base your meditation in a way that will keep you in that thoughtless awareness, that will help you rise to that higher state of awareness and help you build further both within and without, is to have that very important base in the first energy center, also known as Muladhara chakra. Muladhara in itself is a Sanskrit word which relates to root, support. Mul and dhara. Dhara being the support and mul being the root. It is the chakra that we must work on to build that foundation in our meditation, because there is a plethora, there is a diversity of qualities that are especially linked to this first energy center, which are so important for us to build a better understanding of ourselves on a more solid foundation. Now, this first chakra is related, of course, to the earth. It is, simply put, it is a chakra that is also closest to the earth when we sit on the ground. It gives us that rootedness, it gives us that stability of sitting in our meditative posture, it gives us that ability to walk and move in daily life, and that locomotion we have when we walk around. Moreover, there are 4 energy petals that cater towards this foundation, the stability we try to bring forth within us. And those 4 qualities are wisdom. Wisdom is something that comes, of course, with experience or learning it the hard way, but it can also be taught. But it's the experience that really gives that wisdom. Another is humility, and humility is an essential human ability we can foster to really become more receptive in meditation. It's the basic of what we have to use in meditation, or what we have to employ to really bring that attention inside. Because unless and until we pass the threshold of our thoughts, unless and until we let go of our preconceptions of what meditation is and should be, then we won't be able to rise above these mental projections into a state that is real and not ideal. It's not based upon ideas or figments of our imagination. The third quality is the quality of joy. Now, joy is something that sprouts spontaneously. It blossoms, it flourishes. It's something that happens and it can't be forced. So joy is something that's a living process. So that's something we also have to foster in our meditation, that it doesn't become a sedentary, well, of course you're sitting down, so it is sedentary in quite many ways, but that it doesn't become routine and mechanized, that it's something that is living, that you try to sometimes break the mold and see what is usually foretold and try to find that living meditation, that which gives you joy. Because at the end of the day, if your meditation ends in a frustrated state or a feeling of, I didn't reach my thoughtless awareness, I wasn't able to quiet down my thoughts. If you still feel frustrated after meditation, know that you have to let go of those expectations you have of meditation and try to tap into that experience of what it is and what it is not. And the fourth quality, actually I forgot, we'll just go with 3 today. We'll go with 3 qualities today because that's more than enough. But how can we use this Mother Earth to really give us that gravity and stability? One is also looking at nature and looking how that Mother Earth also nourishes, carries and sustains all of the living organisms that walk upon her, that build a life upon her being. She, more than just carrying the houses, the trees, us, the birds and the living beings that are on top of her, she also carries the oceans. It's these tectonic plates that completely encompass the globe, that is large, gigantic, and brings us that stability to actually build something more upon. So we have that trust in Mother Earth that she will always provide for us. Similarly, we have to have that trust within our internal mother that she also provides us with that nourishment to grow within and without. So in a way, it's also building a new relationship with the environment around us, to not take it for granted and to understand the love, to understand the presence and the cornucopia of gifts that we're given on a day-to-day basis, on an unconditional term, in a way that is always giving and always nourishing. In addition to that, if you want or feel the need to improve Muladhara Chakra, which we often have to do in the West, since it's sometimes we do not have that proper relationship established with this support, this root support of our chakra, because as we can see, there is a lot of polarization, a lot of extremes. The center ground, the middle ground, where the foundation should be, is not always present, both in our relationships with our people and in our larger institutions in general and society as well. So it's important to first establish that foundation and gravity within yourself, because if you can do that, you can also set an example for others. You can project that gravity, that stability, that balance in your own behavior as well, and then let others observe through your example how this balance and gravity is achieved. Now, in meditation, one easy way of working on that is actually just sitting on the Mother Earth, sitting on a grass surface that will help you really come into contact with that essence of the earth element. Now, the essence of the earth element, of course, now it's in the northern hemisphere, it's winter, so I am not advising you to go sit in the snow and really working on your root chakra, but this is perhaps something you can take up in the spring and summer. But in addition to that, it's there are other ways of working through it. But now, since we're starting a new chapter in this year, we're starting on a new basis. We're taking a fresh step in our year. it's good to start. It's good to lay a strong foundation for the beginning of this year, and to lay a foundation that will prove to be stable, will give us that gravity, and will give us that support, come what may. Come what may, and for sure this year might be full of even more hijinks and, what did you call it? Tongue turners, or things that might take us by surprise. But we will try to surmise and create that gravity and stability with us, and we will do that in practice today during the second part of our meditation. Now, that was a little theoretical beginning. I hope you're still on board with me and you're ready to tackle that first initial meditation that we'll work through by using affirmations and placing our hand on specific energy centers and working through any obstacles, emotional or physical, that might be present within these centers. So using these affirmations is building that dialogue and rapport with the internal maternal energy of the Kundalini. And as we place our hand on specific parts of the body, it's also acts as a way of placing our attention within and placing our attention in specific areas that need or require that extra basis. So we'll start by placing our hand on the chest, followed by moving it to the left side of our throat, then to the forehead, and then to the top of the head. So we're covering about 3 to 4 subtle energy centers, followed by a short meditation, and then into a meditation where we try to gravitate towards that first energy center of the Muladhara chakra. So, before we begin, I hope you are in a comfortable position wherever you are. It's not necessary to sit on the ground as I am, but if you can, give it a shot. We'll be sitting on the ground for about 20 to 25 minutes. So if you haven't done it before, you might get some pins and needles, and it's best, if you're meditating for the first time, to take it easy and be in a position that's comfortable for the duration of meditation. So it's okay to sit on a chair, it's okay to sit in your bed, as long as you don't doze off, which sometimes happens, but you know, it's something we have to work upon sometimes. Now, as you're ready, I hope, we'll start by just placing both of our palms open on our lap like so, and you can check that your spine is neither too upright nor are you slouching too much, but you're in a position that is mostly comfortable, in a position where you're not too strenuous and where you feel that you can sit in this position for quite some time without exerting too much stress on your system. A small pause for myself. So we can begin by focusing our breath, or focusing our attention on our breath, because what we do in this meditation to begin with, to bring back energy, to help it work, is to establish our attention as a way to connect and bridge between the external world and the internal world. So that can be quite a tough part, bringing that attention within. But one method, and an easy method, is through the use of the breath, by inhaling through the nose and then exhaling out the mouth. So what we can do for just a short moment is inhaling through the nose, you can hold the breath for a moment and then exhale out of the mouth. So you can repeat this just a couple of times to begin the meditation. Try to keep breaths long and deep, not short and shallow. We'll be placing our right hand on the left side of the body, so we can start by placing the hand on our heart, and this is where we'll make our start for this evening's meditation. And it's good for the initial meditation to keep your eyes closed for the duration of the exercise, and in that way really help to bring that attention within. If you forget where you have to place your hand, I will be talking and guiding you through the process, so you can always sneak a peek if need be. The reason we start with the heart is because it is the seat or the essence of that spark of life, which we can also call as our true self, or which we can also call as our spirit. We often identify with our mind and our thoughts, with our ego and the masks and facades that we give and show to the public. But all this is based upon this center, all the life, all that's living, all that's joyous and spontaneous, emanates and radiates from this center and brings that warmth, brings that dynamism to ourselves and to all the parts of our body. And the heart keeps on pumping incessantly, without stop and without pause. And in order to begin with that humility we talked about, it's important to let go and surrender that ego to this larger, more encompassing, more compassionate place and space of the heart. And the only way, the simple way of enacting that is through the affirmation that we say with trust and confidence: I am my true self. I am my true self. We identify with that self, which is ubiquitous, universal, and ever-present within each living being. And when we recognize this, then we can see that common bond, that equality in its truest essence that we share with everything that walks, crawls, flies, and lives on this earth. So we affirm, I am my true self. As we have established that, we can raise the hand to the left side of our neck, at the joint between the shoulder and the neck, so the nape, and slightly tilt our head to the right like so, increasing the area and stretch in this region. Over here we have the fifth center, and as the saying goes, we bear the brunt of responsibility on our shoulders, or we carry responsibility on our shoulders. We can carry responsibility for the most smallest and inconsequential aspects or events that have happened to us, and also for larger, more consequential things. But it's important to know that at the end of the day, we have to let go of whatever luggage we've stored in the center, whatever weights we have draped across our neck. And any past events that we might still be lingering with us can and will manifest in the form of guilt of things not done, or guilt of things done wrong, or barriers that have been passed, or lines that have been crossed. Now, any mistakes of this kind, it's important to face them, to overcome them. And what we do, and the way we do that, is by affirming, I am not guilty. I am not guilty. So we face any individual mistake, we face any collective mistake, and we understand that we have partaken, and we might have erred, but it is human to err. But it is also human to learn from these mistakes. And that builds our experience. But it's not something we cling on to. So we say, I am not guilty. Moving to the forehead, we can place the hand across our forehead and slightly tilt our head in towards our palm. And over here we have the center of our thoughts. Which constantly circulate, which constantly rise and fall. And it's in our power, in our ability, and through our meditation to find that tranquility, which is the space in between two thoughts, that we expand and then we expand into the space that we create in between the two thoughts. That gives us that silence. And when we cross beyond that threshold of thoughts in themselves, we can reach thoughtless awareness. And in order to be able to create that space in between the two thoughts, we have to mitigate the power of the thoughts that rise and fall. So, the antidote for that is forgiveness. Forgiveness helps us unshackle ourselves from whatever chains and burdens we've tied ourselves to. So we affirm, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. Without thinking of a particular person or a specific event, we can repeat with full honesty, I forgive myself and I forgive everyone. So what we do is we turn off or tune down that part of our mind that is always categorizing, judging, ordering, controlling, subdividing, and filtering what's right and what's wrong. Because the more we try to divide, the more we create that divide between our mind and our true self, our spirit. The more we create a dualistic mindset of thinking, and the more we create a polarized, more extreme, less stable, and less loving atmosphere. But we just have to forgive. So we can once again affirm silently within, I forgive myself and I forgive everyone. Moving the hand to the top of the head, we can rotate the scalp. So just kind of move your scalp around, so by just massaging it. This helps to root to the attention on the top of the head. So here we ask for that understanding of the self, a complete understanding of the self. So what we do is we create that link between our mind, the I-ness, and the spirit, which encompasses all. So the mind with the spirit. And when our awareness realizes this connection, it's called a self-realization. So over here, we simply have to ask for that self-realization. And we address this question to the Kundalini energy. So we say, so we ask, Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Please deepen my meditation. Kundalini, please deepen my meditation. Please give me my self-realization. And this desire to know and to grow should come from a space, a true want, a pure desire from within. So once again, Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Please deepen my meditation. So we can lay the hand, right hand back down on our lap, let it rest for a moment. You can keep both palms open for a moment. And for a minute or two, we can try and see if we can have a mini meditation, just a short meditation in silence. And how we can achieve that is by trying to keep that attention either on the top of our head or on our breath, on the inhale and the exhale. If you feel that your thoughts are still whirling around like a dervish, you don't have to flail yourself because of that. You only have to take a step back and not react, and let them go on their way without paying further attention as to their rise or to their fall. That's all. So, mini meditation. Breathe in deep and settle in that silence. While keeping our eyes closed, we can put both of our hands and settle them on the ground wherever they're next to you. If you're sitting on a chair on your bed, you can just face them down towards the ground. One of the largest boons that we have from the Mother Earth is our capability or ability to absorb obstacles, obstructions, or as we call them, catches, within our subtle system and within the centers or chakras themselves. And we can allow this clearing to happen by just placing both hands towards the earth like so. And we can become aware, we can bring our attention to that stability that's beneath our hands. And much in meditation, as it is in life, if we ask, then we're given. So what we do is we place a question to this energy of the earth, and we ask, and we keep it feminine, Mother Earth. Mother Earth, please absorb any excess stress on my solar system. Please drain away any thoughts of the day and keep me in a state of peace. Give me the ability to stay in stability, to maintain my gravity, come what may, day after day. May my actions be rooted in wisdom. May my thoughts be forever humble. May I reach out to others with joy. And may I instill within myself the sense of innocence, which gives us that orientation towards an all-encompassing feeling of love. So let's nourish those roots within ourselves that might be starved and parched and thirsty from neglect and forgetfulness. Let's create that foundation within us. Let's create that strength, that magnanimity of the earth, that all it brings us. And Mother Earth can sustain so much against her. So let's adopt that ability to absorb and in return still give back nourishment, and love. But there's always a boundary, and let's be wary to not cross that and respect the limits, to respect the boundaries, because only when we cultivate that centeredness are we able to grow vertically. We're able to grow higher and higher in our awareness without spilling it too much into pockets here and there horizontally. So let's nourish those roots within us. We can bring both hands once again up to our lap. And we can keep in our mind the power, the qualities that are bestowed upon us by the earth, and by reiterate those in our day-to-day behavior. But for now, let's keep our thoughts clean. Let's keep our attention centered. And let's sit in silence for just a moment longer and absorb the good stuff. we can slowly open our eyes. And to finish the meditation, we do the Kundalini and what we call a Subandhan. So with our left hand rising in front of our body, and with our right hand rotating around it like so, we tie our attention up to the top of the head once and twice, keeping our sight on the hand, and thrice. We follow this with the bandhans, or what are known in Sanskrit as the binding. We do 7 semicircular movements across the body, like so, which each represent a chakra within us, the 7 main major chakras. So we kind of bring them into balance, bring them into alignment to allow them to work in a harmonious manner as a complete and unified whole. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. My name is Gabriel, and if you have any more questions related to how we use the element of the earth, how you can achieve stability and gravity through meditation, or how you can start your new year with a new practice, you can drop us a question either on Facebook, on Instagram, or I believe also through email. So drop us a question. We're more than happy to answer anything, be it a silly small question or a great big one. So for now, that's all from us. Also, you can find a lot of information on WeMeditate.go related to the chakras, the channels, and a lot more on meditation. And you might find some inspiration for your own day-to-day activities and creativity. But that's all from us tonight. Once again, goodbye. Take care. We'll see you on Thursday.